I am Wander001, and this is a review of what I consider an essential app for traveling or just to have on your person for those cases where you're in an area that they speak a different language or their signage is in a different language and you might not be able to read it and you want to understand what you're looking at. And the app for that would be Google Translate. When you first start the Google Translate app, you will be brought to the translation screen or the main screen. Here you have choices of original language and then language to translate into. By default, you can change it to quite a laundry list of different languages. My primary language is English, so I leave it on English, and then depending on where I am is the language that I will translate into. You'll notice this large white blank area. As you start doing translations, this will fill up because it keeps a record of the translations for your usage later. Here, you enter the translation that you want below. You have several choices as to how to input this translation. If you click on the blank space, you type in English, the word in English that you want to translate into Spanish. In this case, I will just do hello. And here you'll see the Spanish translation, hola, show up. And if we click on that, you have that space that I told you before will fill up. So here you have English if you click on the sound.
Hello.
Hopefully that's loud enough so you can hear it. So that's the English word, then you click
Hola.
the Spanish translation of it, and then a dictionary of all sorts of fun extra information that you need or might want. Under the translation area, you have several choices. You can copy the translation, send the translation by any given application that you have on your phone, and then you can make the translation ginormous so that if a person can't quite see what you typed out on the screen, it will bring it up here. And then there's a little X button in the corner there. The other way that you can do the translation is by voice. And by doing this, we go, where is the bathroom? Again, you'll be doing the English because English is your default language. So here you have,
Where is the bathroom?
in English,
¿Dónde está el cuarto de baño?
the translation, and then your dictionary. You can also write out what you want. So you could freehand it, and since I'm trying to work around a camera stand here, I'll just wow, that's really bad, but that's my attempt at trying to write hello left-handed when I'm a righty. So here it did figure out that I was trying to say hello, and the Spanish, it brings us back to what we did before, the hola and so forth. The last option you have is the camera option. So what you can do is you can actually take a picture of, let's say, text. Here you can see it does have both the English and the Spanish translation, but let's say it just had Spanish on here. You would click the camera option, and this is just letting you know that it will keep track of what you do to help with Google. So what you can do is you take a picture, and then the items that it can translate for you, it will highlight, slightly grayed out. So what we'll do here is this part is what I want to translate. And it's translate from Spanish. And here you go. Spanish is the originating language. Spanish is now the originating language, and it's going to change it into English, which it does. So it's saying
Hojas.
hojas is
Leaves.
leaves. So based on this, you would have 60 sheets, or in Spanish, 60 leaves of paper to work with. It's an interesting feature, which I like. Now, it used to be that you needed to have an active connection, either data over Wi-Fi, to use the translation application. However, recently, with the latest update, Google has added both SMS translation. So let's say you have an SMS text message. You can then run it through the translator program here, both either in your native language to a secondary language or the secondary language to your native language. They also have offline languages now. So if you go through the list here, you can actually save a language pack for offline use. So if you know that you're going to be traveling to Spain and you want to have the Spanish language pack available to you offline, you would put a little thing, push the little push pin there, and it will add the language pack to the application that you can use offline. Obviously, there's also the feedback and settings area, but we're not going to get into that. Now, like I said, this was just the main translation page. There are more options that this application offers, such as conversation mode. This is a... Yes, hojas. It remembers the last word that you did. This is conversation mode. This is very useful when you're talking to somebody in person and you don't want to kind of wait for that. Here, let me look up this word. You look up that word. This is a free-flowing, I'm speaking in my native tongue and other person is speaking in their native tongue. So in this case, I will say something in English by clicking the English microphone down here. Hello, how are you? And here we see the original English text and then the Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
By clicking it, it will run it through the program and then speak in audio. All right, so I asked, how are you? We'll get to see my horrible attempt at Spanish here. Muy bien.
Very well.
So there you go. Using that, you can translate between two different languages. And again, you have the option of both the translate to and the original language. It's very useful. I've used it myself. It's pretty accurate. It does have a little difficulty if there's a particular dialect accent. Again, right now it's using the main Spanish, but there are several different like dialects of Spanish that it can translate through. We'll go through the options here. So history is just that. Anything that you've run through the program, it will keep a record of. Likewise with the favorites, if there's a favorite saying or question, you would keep it here and it would bring it back up. So going back to the conversation mode, like I said, it remembers that last thing that you looked for. And I'll just give you a quick example of my really bad attempt at Spanish and to show a general conversation. Agua, por favor. Say water, please. Shows up here. Click on it.
Water, please.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
And that and asking where the bathroom is was about the entirety of my Spanish that I could speak to my grandparents. So I'll leave it with that. This has been Wander001, and like I said, this Google Translate app for Android platform is a indispensable app to have on your smartphone for travel or just in your daily life. I will leave a link for it down in the description area. Questions or comment, you can put them below.